Hey, welcome back to the channel. Let's go check out the progress on prepping my cool season lawn for an overseed this fall. I had to stop right in the middle of it. We'll talk about that and talk about the process. Let's go check it out. All right, so here's the first section of my cool season grass. It's right here by my driveway. First step I did, kind of step 1A, I guess, was killing moss. I've tried two different methods that I've used in the past, and the first method I used was Dawn dish soap and water, and just mixed it up in my backpack sprayer and just sprayed it liberally throughout the whole entire lawn, and it really didn't work that great. So the next thing I did was I got a granular product from Moss Out, and I broadcast it with a little hand spreader in the roughest areas, and honestly it did a really good job. It's hard to tell because I've already scuffed this up, but it really did do a good job killing off most of my moss that I've got in the lawn. So where we're at right now, you can see it looks pretty dark and rough. I did step 1 on the entire lawn. So step 1 is mowing and bagging. So I used my Toro Time Master, the most famous mower on YouTube, and mowed and bagged my entire cool season parts of my lawn. So that includes the backyard up here above this retaining wall, below this retaining wall, all the way to the fence over here, and then all the way up to that cherry tree. I'm gonna do something different down here this year. I'll show that to you real quick, but the section from about here forward from that cherry tree is actually Bermuda grass. And I went ahead and dropped the mower down and mowed and bagged this section as well. I've got a different project this year planned for this. I've had erosion issues for years in this section, and the funny thing is I never did a video. I should have. I fixed a lot of the issue right here, but you know the way water works is you kind of fix one area and it keeps moving until it finds another path. So I've got to do some work on this area. I'm not sure if I plan to tackle that now or if I'll just wait for the spring, but likely bringing in some soil or just getting some sod right here, because the level of it's not too bad. I just got a lot of exposed tree roots. You know, I could expand the pine straw around the tree. That's another option, and then just kind of go in with some sod. But this is where we're at after mowing and bagging, and then I used my little Greenworks dethatcher after that to really just get, it's not really per se as much of the goal is not dethatching. I don't have a thatch problem. This is not a thick lawn by any means with all the shade, but the goal was to get all the old dead junk and moss up out of the lawn, and then also to expose your soil. And then that dethatcher does a good job with those little tines of just scuffing up the surface for you, and it really makes a nice little area for a seed bed. But the one problem that you will have with that little Greenworks is that it's perfect for a small yard, but this would not be classified as a really a small yard. So I've had to replace the tines on it once in the past, and it's ready for it again. So it did a really good job on this section. Did really good when I came up here, and I shifted up and started above my wall. Did pretty good here, and you can really start seeing where it pulled up less material is where those tines started wearing down again. So I do have replacement tines if I choose to use them, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet or not. I'm going to see how everything looks once I clean everything up. So let's turn the camera around and I'll talk about the next steps after you've mowed and bagged and after you've dethatched. You know, what do you do next? All right, so where I'm at right now, and you know, why did I stop and not seed? Well, something unexpected came up. You know, when you have a family and jobs and all that stuff, you guys will understand. So don't be worried if something comes up and you can't finish this process all in the course of 1 to 2 days. Then you just have to pick right back up, you know, where you're at, and that's not the ideal situation. I will say ideally I would have liked to have had this seeded, but it just didn't happen. So I am going to pick back up on this. Hopefully by the time you see this video, the seed will be on the ground. Let's talk about the next steps. So what you need to do next to get all this junk up is you need to bring your mower back out with a bagger on it. You know, mow and bag again. Go over sections with the rake. So I like to call it kind of, if you're doing a big, yard like this, you're not going to be able to, use a little cultivator everywhere, but look at your rough areas. Look at any areas that may need some topsoil to be, just leveled out a little bit or amended, and then go ahead and get it ready. You've got that surface scuffed. You're ready to drop that seed down at that point. Once you've got all this junk cleaned up, you've got that top layer of soil loose. That's when you're ready to drop down your seed. I will water a little bit before I do that. It's very, very dry right now. So once I get this all cleaned up, I will run the sprinkler system a little bit just to get that top layer of soil a little bit moist before we throw down that seed. You'll amend it with any kind of fertilizers or limes that you choose or need to use, and then you'll put your seed down and either rake or roll it in. This year, I'm gonna do something a little bit different and use a little small lawn roller to really get some good seed to soil contact. Get that seed pressed into the ground a little bit. That'll also help to keep, these wonderful birds and all those things from eating it up. So that's really it. Hopefully by the time you see this, I'm out here getting this thing seeded and I'm just got my sprinkler set and we're waiting for it to germinate. But, look at the silver lining, I guess. When I started prepping this last weekend, the weather just turned back warm. So truly, in North Georgia, not the best place to grow cool season grass from the get-go, but definitely with these really warm temps, I'm not too upset that I won't be getting that seed down for a couple more days. So I want to thank you for watching. Share your comments on what do you have going on with your cool season projects. And oh yeah, let me show you one last thing before we end this video. I'll tease something else I'm going to work on. All right, so got some pretty interesting stuff in this box. So let's cut it open. Check this out. Probably haven't seen this on YouTube before, have you? This is for that little strip down there of my Bermuda lawn. So this is annual ryegrass seed. I ordered it off Amazon. I believe it comes from, show down there, Oregon. Made in the USA. And check out the back of it. We got 5 pounds, should be more than enough to do that area. 1,000 square feet. I've got probably, I don't know, 500, 600, 700 square feet. And you can see that, wow, 98% germination, 99.9% annual ryegrass. And it's a little older than I would like, 1024. This is about a year old. But you can see this seed is kind of hard to find. If you go to the big box store, it's hard to find ryegrass that doesn't have a lot of weed seeds in it. So this is free from all weed seeds. So we're gonna overseed our Bermuda just a small portion with annual ryegrass this year. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that. All right, so now that's going to do it for the video. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one where hopefully we are walking around looking at an overseeded cool season lawn and talking about overseeding Bermuda grass with annual rye.